Hey, what's up everybody? GameDad here, back at it with part 2 of my current Game Boy collection. So, let's dive in and see what games there are. Marble Madness was released by Atari Games in 1984, and I don't really remember much of this on Game Boy as a kid, but I remember having a ton of fun playing this with my older brother on NES. He ended up getting one for Christmas one year, and this was one of the games we ended up playing all the time. Difficult, but a lot of fun. Now up next we got Mole Mania by Nintendo that was released in 1996. Now I really enjoyed playing this game as a kid because it's simple, it's fun, and it has, kind of a cutesy theme to it, and it definitely reminds me a lot of the Adventures of Lolo games on the NES. And here we have Ms. Pac-Man, released by Namco in 1982. And this game, obviously, it doesn't play as well as the arcade version does, but it's actually really impressive for a handheld. And playing through a Super Game Boy, you actually get full color, just like you can see in this gameplay footage. Now here we have NBA All-Star Challenge, released by Acclaim Entertainment in 1992. Now this game, even though it came out in 92, graphically is not that great, but it's still pretty fun. It's like being able to just go one-on-one with somebody in a fun half-court game. So, not the greatest, but it's not bad. Up next is Oddworld Adventures by Oddworld Inhabitants, and this was released in 1997. Now, I love the Oddworld franchise. I think it's quirky, it's weird, and, just like the name says, it's odd. Now, on Game Boy, I didn't really care for this version too much. It was kind of clunky in its gameplay, but overall, it wasn't that bad. Now here we have another Konami classic, and that's Operation C, released in 1991. And this is exactly what it seems like. It is a Contra game on the Game Boy. Now, if you're a fan of Contra from the NES or even the Super Nintendo, this is definitely a must-own for your Game Boy. Another Namco oldie but goodie, and that is Pac-Man, released in 1980 for the Game Boy. And this game does not look as pretty as Ms. Pac-Man does. It gets you where you need to go, it gets you some classic Pac-Man action, but that is just about it. The game doesn't play very well, but it's okay for a handheld. Now I know there's a lot of fans of this next one, that is Paperboy by Atari Games, released in 1985, but personally I have never been a fan of the Paperboy franchise. I didn't really care for it all that much. I know a lot of people do like it, but it's not really my cup of tea. Now here is the first of my Pokemon games for the Game Boy, and that is Pokemon Blue version, released in 1986. Now I won't go too much into the gameplay of Pokemon since basically everybody knows what it is, but here you can see that cool blue background that the Super Game Boy adds since it is the blue version. Up next is Pokemon Red version, again, Nintendo, and 1996, came out at the same time. And the only real difference, other than your starting Pokemon and some different Pokemon around the world, is again, you get this cool red background signifying that it is the red game. Alright, now here we have something kind of special, and that is Pokemon Green version. Now, this did come out by Nintendo in 96 in Japan, but my copy is actually a special translated version from the Video Games Database. So it's pretty cool. I was able to order this from them, complete in box with all kinds of little feelies. Now here we have my personal favorite of the original generation, that is Pokemon Yellow version, released by Nintendo in 1998. Now this one I always was drawn to more because it actually felt like it followed the show a lot more. And then plus, who doesn't want to teach a Pikachu how to surf? That was just awesome. Now the last game for this video is the Ren and Stimpy Show Vidiots, released by THQ in 1993. Now this game is your typical kind of platformer that came out around that time, just starring the Ren and Stimpy characters instead. It's not really anything to write home about. It was a typical platformer, and that was about it. So there you have it, everybody. That is everything currently in part 2 of my Game Boy collection. Now, in watching this series so far, have you noticed any games that you remember playing that you had a lot of fun with, or maybe something that I should check out myself? Let me know down in the comments below. And while you're there, please be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons, and also hit that notification bell that we get alerted anytime I got a new video coming out. Now, as always, I'm GameDad. I thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you later.